Pandora was given a gift, a jar which was given to her by those that came before her. Through the trust of naivety and innocence, she was told never to open the jar. Within the jar contained the anger as a result of a feud between two gods, Zeus and Prometheus. And this anger, fueled by pride, was controlled through taboo and hidden within the gift to Pandora, the all-gifted. And she was instructed never to open it, to keep it closed. But as we know, like the great rolling of the waves of the sea, you cannot keep something hidden forever. At some points, the lid must be lifted. And as Pandora lifted the lid, breaking the seal of secrecy that had held her mind captive, through the narrow gap rushed out all sickness, suffering, disease, despair, greed, jealousy, and selfishness. Pandora desperately tried to close the lid of the jar again, but it was too late. She sank down to her knees, broken and overwhelmed, taking responsibility for hurts and pains not designed for her to carry. But then her mentor entered the room, and as she did, she rushed towards Pandora to comfort her. After listening to what had happened, she asked Pandora, "Has everything left the jar?" "Everything?" "Go look into the jar, right at the bottom, to the one trait that remains to overcome the hurt. Hope. The hope for change. The hope for resilience. The hope that despite all inflictions and struggles to simply survive can be held with the communal support." To be able to be helpful to those in need requires us to build empathy with that person. Empathy is the ability to attune to a person's struggle, to see their situation from their point of view. And empathy comes from understanding. A person who is suicidal is often blinded by hopelessness, helplessness, isolation. A person can become suicidal as a desperate attempt to escape suffering that has become unbearable, and they wish for an alternative but cannot seem to find one. They've lost perspective, and they are in desperate need for change. But when you feel disempowered, change can feel a million miles away. And we need that caring, listening soul to help us out of that moment, to help give us perspective from the desperation, and then to eventually help us to reconnect, to help us trust our environments and ourselves again, to find our power back again.
The most important thing to do is to listen. Be there for them, listen, just sit with them and hear them out.
The support system, if they know that there are people that care for them, it's much easier for them to be able to open up.
And campaigns like this, campaigns on the media, it's very important to change the narrative, to change the societal perspective.
Our clients are afraid to come to the clinic because they feel that they will be judged. Those stigmas, limit people from seeking help because they don't know how the other person will receive the information when they start talking about their thoughts about suicide.
A social support system is very important in preventing the vulnerabilities to suicide. Support system in terms of family, in terms of loved ones, in terms of society at large.
Just the fact that the person, walks from home into a health community center, it means they have hope that someone, sitting inside that office, will give me insight or will help me in a certain way, So hope starts there when you say, I'm going to someone to talk to so that I can get assistance.
Most of the time, especially with suicide, you find that people do have solutions within themselves. However, because they're not given the environment, they're not given an ear, they're not heard, they are unable to see, they're unable to reach the solutions within themselves.
It doesn't necessarily mean that when someone is from a poor community or they don't have, if they have limited resources, they won't make a difference in their lives. And it has shown in so many ways in how, our patients grown from, having nothing, not having employment and creating employment for themselves. If, like, Sansa was saying, during COVID, not being able to go to school, but at the same time, that little money they had, they will buy data and then be able to, get homeworks or, work from school so that they can be able to learn from it.